Good afternoon and happy Friday. Welcome to You Create Art at Home. My name is Bess and I'm here for your last day of your week to give you your little quick mental health break. So I'm here for you to carve out a little bit of me time to perhaps get inspired by some ideas that I'm going to share with you, connect, create and have a little bit of fun. Why not? It's Friday and I think on Friday we can wear crazy earrings. Look at my earrings. These are, for those of you that aren't on Australia, you won't have a clue what these are, but these are packets of chips that are called shapes in Australia. And I turned them into 1980s Shrinky Dinks. Who remembers the 1980s Shrinky Dinks? Yay! This was when I was a child. There wasn't so many wacky things in the shop like there are now. So we used to get our crisp packets, stick them in the oven, shrink them and turn them into badges, brooches, key rings and funky earrings. So I made these, and because I am looking at sadness and joy today, I thought these were quite joyous and they made me laugh. However, as you can see as I move my head, they are totally impractical and they catch on everything and irritate the pants off me. But sometimes it's a bit like your favourite high heels girls. Sometimes you've just got to push it out there and go with what you love and go with what makes you feel great. So these are my funky shrinky dink earrings that I'm sharing with you today. I did do a video of how to do them, but somehow that video, I don't know. It didn't work. It didn't save. This was a few weeks ago when we were in the middle of lockdown. I did do a video, and maybe if you love them, let me know. Put in the box, Karen, show me how to make those incredible earrings, and I'll do another video for you, okay? If you're here live, I know you've got to stop what you're doing in your day. Welcome, come in, share your Friday with me. If you're watching on the replay, much love. I know it's tricky when we're all working to actually give ourselves 5 minutes and carve out some time. So I appreciate that you've been able to pop back in at some other time and enjoy your little bit of time. If you haven't got time and you're rushing off, I will save this as always and you will be able to catch me on the replay. So just pop back into You Create Art at Home, look under the videos tab and you'll find me there. So you can see up here this week we've been looking at emotions, and we started off doing fear, then we had a quick break and I did a salute for solidarity to stand up for all the anti-racists, the situation that's going on in America. And then yesterday we did fear, facing our fears. And today we're going to do sadness and joy. And we're going to do both of them, well, because it's Friday and I can't fit it in because I took a wee slip. But also sadness and joy are kind of like this, aren't they? So without further ado, we're going to chat as we draw. So I'm going to flip you over. Hold on, strap yourself in. I flip the camera down and we're going to get straight into it and we'll have a little chat as we're drawing. Okay? Give me a thumbs up. Tell me you're ready. Let me know where you're hooking in from today. I'd love to know where you are watching from. All right, are you ready? Let's draw. Okay, so I'm going to flip you down. Boop. No, she missed her finger. There we are. Oh, I can't get it. There we go. And flip you down. And zoom all the way down to the bottom. And I know that this is, not the most beautiful setup with my little tripod. And I understand that, when I do my sip and paints, I have 2 cameras and it looks all very professional and very wonderful. But this is my working day and I'm taking a break from my working day to share some art with you. So there's no way I'm packing up my computer and all my stuff, walking across the road and setting it all up because that would take an hour out of my day. And this is my take a break just as much as it's your take a break, okay? I shouldn't say take a break, I should say create a break. So what have I got here? Well, this is my little sketch to talk about how the emotions do actually factor in our day. We get up in the morning and, we're pretty joyous. Woohoo, we've had a good sleep and we get up, had our morning cup of tea or our exercise if you're a gym junkie or a coffee if you're a caffeine fiend, and things are pretty good. We then move through the day. Oh, oops, I forgot to drop the dry cleaning off. Oh no, I forgot to pay the kids' school outing. Oh, I've double booked myself at a meeting. Then you have that period of sadness. Probably followed by a bit of fear. Oh God, if I don't pay the kids' school excursion, they might miss out, or that meeting that I should have gone to, I'm going to miss out on what's happening next week. Followed by a section of anger. Oh God, here we go again. I've got too much on my plate. I'm so angry with myself. Or I'm so angry that it's already Friday and I've had 2 coffees and I said I was going to reduce my coffee intake. So then you feel sad about that. Oh, because you've let yourself down, and you feel emotional because you've let yourself down. And so the day unpacks and unfolds. Maybe because you're feeling sad, you then go out at morning tea or lunchtime and have a great big donut and a beer. Maybe you're already on the wine. Then you feel worried about the calories that you've put on and the fact that you're late back for a meeting, followed by the fact that you look at the clock and it's 4 o'clock and it's nearly time to go. Yay! And then you come home and maybe your plans on Friday night have blown out, and that puts you into a bit of lull. And so your day unfolds. So when we're looking at these periods of blue for sad, yellow for joy, purpley pink for fear, red for anger, green for disgust, it's not just, I'm in a blue period, like the month of May has been particularly bad in my business, so I'm feeling really sad about it. This happens during the day. And it's really important that we understand the visual and emotional cues of our work colleagues, our clients, the people that we interface with, because ultimately how they walk into your shop, into your business, at home, how they wake up in the morning, how you leave your children is really important, because the tone that you give them, whichever colour, whichever quadrant you're in, is going to play out to them. So let's have a look at sorrow. Now, we briefly touched on sorrow the other day in that Picasso, the colour that psychologists use for sorrow is blue. Let's do a circle for the head. These characters are all from the film Inside Out, the Disney Pixar film, and they're beautifully created to represent our emotions. Now do a second circle and let it intertwine. Almost like you're doing a diagram for a presentation or a snowman. Now we're going to put in a cross across here. So I'm doing it as a curve because this is where our eyes are going to be. And then I'm going to do a curve down the front, and that's where our nose is going to intersect. So it's a cross, but it has a curve, both down and horizontal, vertical and horizontal. The eyes on these are going to be above that line. And I want you to do them as wide ovals, wide leaf shapes. Not slim, nice and wide, okay? Slightly tapered. I'm just going to rub that one out because that's a little bit too wide. Hang on. Slightly tapered in the corners, okay? So it is really important that we understand and respond to our work colleagues, to our clients, to the climate of what's happening in our world. It's important that we understand that if people are carrying sadness around with them, we don't respond to them with frustration and anger, for example. We don't know what's happened in their home life before they even arrived at work, before we make judgments, before we pass judgment on what's happening because they're looking sad. Okay, let's put in the body. I'm going to start up here. I'm going to flatten it off. So using that circle as a guide, but I'm flattening it. This is the back down to the bottom of the circle. And then I'm going to move it around the bottom of the circle. This is the bottom of the torso. And then you can see that that's a little bit fat. So we're just going to flatten it off and bring it down. So that's the torso. That's the body of our sadness character. Now, whether this is intentional or not, the designers we're just doing a little funnel shape there on both sides to make the legs. The designers of this character have made her a larger lady or larger woman. And I guess, there is a correlation between sadness and overeating. However, I am a jolly person and I definitely overeat. So I am definitely a larger lady. And it's never really bothered me size. I'm just not that kind of person. Yes, I want to be healthy, and I get tested every year. I have low cholesterol. I can run for a bus. I've played netball, but I like my wine. I like my cheese, and I like things like that, which have obviously contributed into my little shape. And it's not something that I dwell on. It's not something I focus on. If I did have high cholesterol, if I wasn't very healthy, then I would have huge concerns over it. But it's not something I dwell on. Okay, so I've just put in there, this is going to be her clasping her hands. And we are now going, hi Beck, welcome in. Awesome to catch you live. I know, yay! It's very rare. But now my friend Beck is one of my coaches that's helping me understand the powers of Facebook Live, and she's in Perth. So welcome to Perth. All right, so we've got sadness. Her eyes are looking down. And what's important here is that a lot of this emotion is in the eyes. And I would say to you, have a look at the person sat next to you. Have a look at your children as they walk in the door. It's funny, the other day, Thomas, who's 14, so he's going through the whole, emotional roller coaster of teenage world, which I am enjoying so much, especially through COVID. He walked in the door from school. I wouldn't say walked, he slumped through the door from school. And I could see in his eyes straight away that there was something wrong. He didn't give me eye contact. His eyes were down at the floor. They looked pretty glassy. And I thought, okay. And I said, Tom didn't look at me. Tom didn't look at me. Thomas, darling, what's the matter? Okay, let's do our glasses. I'll keep on talking. So I'm going to spin and do a circle that's slightly bigger than that eye. These are going to be these big. Now, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and you're from the UK, you'll know what I mean if I say Deirdre Barlow. Deirdre Barlow was on a soap opera in England that we all know, Coronation Street. Actually, some people around the world might have heard Coronation Street. Australians would have, because it came down here. It's set in Manchester, and she was one of the longest actresses on there when I was a child, and she had massive glasses. And if you had them in school, everyone used to call them Deirdre Barlows, which is probably not very kind. But anyway, that's what they were known as, a Deirdre Barlow glass. I want to get them a little bit longer there. Yeah, so I said to Thomas, what's the matter, love? Do you want me to come in your bedroom? Yeah, Mum. And I thought, oh my goodness. Usually that means he's been told off, or I'm going to have a letter home from school, or something's afoot. But no, he's just had a brand new laptop that he paid half for himself for his birthday. And the laptop cost a couple of $1,000 because he wanted a gaming laptop. Well, he's year 9, and in year 10 they have to have a laptop for school anyway. So we went, okay, well, we'll pay half of it for your birthday. You have to use your savings for the other half. Yeah, Mum, I will. Anyway, because it's a gaming laptop, obviously it drains really quickly because it's so powerful. So he started taking his charger in. And within the second day of taking it to school, he lost his charger, all $100 of it. And he, as any 14-year-old was bereft. Okay, I am going to work into these eyes. Now, I want you to leave some space. I'm going to lift this up in a minute. I want you to leave some space between the bottom of the pupil, the iris, and the bottom of the eye. So I'm actually going to draw from above. And I'm going to do a semicircle, which means that the reason why I'm leaving that space is we're giving the impression that the head is bowed and she's looking up through her eyelids, yeah? So she's looking up, sad and forlorn. Isn't that a beautiful word? Forlorn. I talk about language a lot, don't I? Because there are some words that I hate, which I use in art. Moist is one of them. Can't stand the word. Far too many connotations of weirdness. But forlorn is a beautiful word because we totally have empathy with that word. Forlorn. Already, look, I'm putting on a voice because I can feel her energy. I can feel her sadness. It's coming off the paper to me, and I haven't even drawn her blue yet. Okay, I'm just trying to put in a little highlight there. Can you see that? So I know it looks like they're going to be her pupils, but they're not. Those bits there are just a little highlight in the eye because the pupil is straight ahead. Here's the pupil, and you'll see it because I'm going to colour it straight in. Okay, there's one, and now I'm going to colour the other one, and the other one is really quite in the corner, like that. So like any special mummy, obviously you give your son a hug and you say to him, well, I give him a hug. I had to, stand on tippy toes these days to reach my son. I am only 5'2", but he has had a massive growth spurt. And I said, Tom, love, now I haven't got that eye quite right, so I'm going to have to rub it out. Sorry, talking and drawing. I said, Tom, love, don't get upset. What did you do? Did you go to the office? Have you explained to your teacher? Did you go back to that classroom? Yeah, mum, I did. It's lost, it's gone forever, it's going to cost us so much money. And I said, if in doubt, when you get to this point, sharpen your pencil, because I can't get it sharp enough there. So I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. And I said, love, okay, well, I'm not going to go and buy you another one straight away. Do you know why? Because that just shows that we're already giving in. We have to go back, retrace our steps. We have to make an effort and see if we can find it. I did, Mum. It's nowhere to be found. I can't find it. Well, he was in a real pickle, in a real state. And cutting a long story short, Daddy ended up buying him a new charger, which came from Amazon yesterday. What happened yesterday? He came home from school and, of course, the school have found it. So now we have 2 charges. So mixed with sadness was a little bit of joy. Yay! I'm not getting this eye right. I'm going to persevere. I could give up, but I'm not going to. I can't get... Okay, start from scratch. Okay, I'm gonna draw it there and then go down. So this is the outside. I just can't get the line right, where it looks like it's actually going to, because her head is slightly that way, so it needs to be at an angle. So I'm persevering. You're probably doing the same. You're probably going, Bess, you're making me rub this out about 65 times and you're driving me nuts. Well, life isn't perfect, people. This is what happens. That's better. Now I've got it in a better angle. Okay, now I'm going to do the eyelid there. All right. Okay, let's put in the Deirdre Barlow glasses. So we've got one side. We want to do a second side of a frame. So you want to add in an extra ring for the rim. And we want to put a little bit there. And we want to add in. So we're basically making 2 layers on the glasses, 2 circles. The inner ring of the glass and the outer ring of the glass. And that's one example of sadness and fear and emotion, and joy all rolled into one. He was fearful to tell his mum, of course, and his dad, and he was sad because he physically had lost it, and that was making him sad. And, he was angry with himself because he had lost it. And actually all he'd done is he'd left it in his maths class. It wasn't a huge big deal, but, we've all done that, haven't we? Blimey, in London once, I left my laptop on a tube, and this is in the days when laptops were super expensive, and my boss was not impressed. Okay, I'm going to put the eyebrows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that cross out there, and I'm going to put the eyebrows, and I want to go from one side, just behind the eyeglass, the glasses, and then I want to go down. And it's a bit like an S shape, that worried, it's up in the middle, like an S shape. A bit like we did with fear yesterday, but with fear, we just went both the same way. This one, the eyebrows are coming together. Yeah, they're coming together with that frowny, fear, scared, sad, worried frown. Beautiful. So we've got that emotion, and this is all about the emotion. Let's pop in a little nose there, just a little round nose, and a mouth which is literally just going to be a little upturned little mouth. And now her hair. Now I have to say her hair is quite similar to me. Maybe her body's quite similar to me as well. But the big difference between this lady and me is that I'm not a sad person. People ask me quite often, Bessel, how do you stay so upbeat? How are you always looking so optimistic? I don't have an answer to that. I don't. I am just one of these lucky people, and I appreciate that it is lucky because I am just born with my cup half full. I look at the best in people. I look at the best in situations. I find, you know, yes, I get sad. Of course I get sad. Every time I leave England, when I fly back to Australia, there's an element inside my stomach that I gulp because I'm just so desperate. I don't actually know whether I'm going to see my parents again, when that will happen. And, you know, that makes me desperately sad. But at the end of the day, it's my choice that I live in Australia. It's my choice that I moved our children to Australia. And David and I made that choice, and so we have to wear that decision. There's no point in being angry or annoyed about it. We decided, we made that choice, and sadness is part of the emotion of saying goodbye, but I don't let it define me. I don't let it ruin my life, ruin the moments, because, you know, when I'm having special times or a party or something, I don't think about what's going to happen tomorrow or be sad about the reality that this is not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. But what's important is the moment that you take, the time that you enjoy while you are there. Live in the moment, people. Grasp it. So, you know, I've made business decisions before. They haven't turned out. I have started a studio in England. I've started 2 studios in England. And then we moved back to Australia. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just life. And we don't look at it and get depressed and upset about it. At the time, you might get frustrated and a little bit disappointed, but you certainly don't. There's no point in wallowing in that sadness, because those experiences make us stronger. They're the things. I'm just going to press harder on my glasses before I do the colouring. Those experiences, guys, are the tapestry of our life. And when you put it together, you have the most incredible visual statement of where you've been, who you've seen, where you've travelled, what you've enjoyed, what you've tasted, what you've looked at, the countries you've visited. All of those things, good or bad, all become the tapestry, your story, your narrative. And it's the same in the workplace. You know, so easy, so quickly, we're ready to jump on people, aren't we? To get disappointed or angry if they make a mistake, or to, I don't know, highlight their inadequacy instead of celebrating the fact that they're actually trying, they're learning, they're engaging, responding to what we want. You know, we shouldn't be so quick to judge. We shouldn't be so quick to be frustrated and disappointed if people make mistakes. You know, the mistakes you make are just there to provide a foundation, a learning, to help you understand next time how to use that experience to make a different judgment. And that's really, really important. And I've always been a big believer in, you know, okay, I've done a diet and it's failed. Well, it hasn't failed. I've just learned this time that the Atkins diet is not for me because I don't like eating that much meat. Whatever your decisions are, you need to turn those negative, those sad moments of despair into learning tools. Into learning tools where you can go, okay, well, I can work with that. So if I don't like eating so much protein, then maybe I need a diet that has a bit more of a mixture. That's exactly what you need. You need more of a balance. So I'm just going to use purple for her glasses, because if we did this in blue, they wouldn't stand out. The blue of the face, I've done 2 tones there, a little bit of dark blue and a little bit of pale blue. We're going to use dark blue predominantly for the hair. I just need to draw in her hands, which I didn't do. And we're just going to do them really simply as if they're clasped together like that in a worried way. So just a couple of fingers clasped together. Yeah, it's really important. You know, we're all talking very openly these days about mental health in the workplace. And something like coronavirus, where it's taken us to places where, you know, I know my eldest sister, I mean, I love working from home. I love my own company. I love the spontaneity of being able to just pack up and go to the shops if I need to, pick up the kids from school. I mean, I just love it. I mean, I have a job that obviously allows me to do that. My husband also works from home, and we're sat here together, and you'd think that we would be taking every opportunity to, I don't know, down tools and not work, but we probably work harder sat together than we would in an office where there's constant distractions, let's say. But my eldest sister obviously has been working from home in her job. She works in banking in the UK, and she has struggled. She has struggled with the isolation. She has struggled with, she's got other things going on in her life, but she's missed the interaction of her work colleagues, and that in itself can provide levels of sadness if you've got other stuff going on in your personal life, and then your work, which is a big part, it's 8 hours of your day usually, if that's not happening for you as well and you're feeling disconnected, that's going to play on your productivity, on how you react when you're being asked to, I don't know, perhaps try something new, go outside your comfort zone in your workplace. And so it is important that companies, HR departments, or if you're a sole trader and you don't have a HR department, maybe your spouse or your work colleagues themselves understand that if you are feeling a little bit blue, if you have had something going on, a pet's died, you've got an illness in the family, you're concerned about money, you had to move house like we did in COVID-19, all of those extra stresses and strains create sadness, create anxiety. And that is okay. It does not make you weak. It makes you somebody that is just currently going through stuff. And by golly, we all go through stuff. And so it's very, very, very important that we understand, acknowledge and support our work colleagues as they go through stuff. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that at all. So there's my little sadness friend. I'm going to go round in a black liner with him, but I'm with her, sorry. But I'm not going to do it now because I promised you that we would counterbalance Friday feeling with a bit of joy. Now, joy is me. I am a joyous person, as you've seen by my hilarious earrings, which are big crisp packets. And this is a very quickie one, so I'm just going to move you out the way, sadness. It's not that I don't love you, but you just make way for a bit more of happiness. Let's spin our pencil. I'm doing an egg shape, an oval shape. Okay, I'm only going to keep you another 5 minutes, guys, I promise. And we are going to divide the head up. So this is our oval shape. I'm going to bring it in slightly there, so it's a bit more tapered at the back. I'm going to go across, cut across it like this. This is where the fringe is going to be, and then cut it down there. So I've divided that egg shape up a little bit. Now I'm going to put a circle in the middle. That's going to be the nose. And I want you to think about Mickey Mouse, and I want you to put 2 leaf shapes for the eyes, but they kind of go up like Mickey Mouse's ears. So where is a leaf, a petal, that's what I'm thinking of, not a leaf, because a leaf is tapered on one end and a petal is just tapered on, a leaf is tapered on 2 ends and a petal is tapered on one end. So it's more like a petal, so it's wider, it goes out wider and then it comes in. So a petal shape is what I would say, like that. Okay, now a banana underneath, and this is Joy's mouth. So we're just laying out the shapes right now. We're going to do an arch in the eye and an arch in the eye, and then I want you to put a circle inside like this. Here we're going to have a little circle. This is where the ear is going to be. We're going to go down for the neck, and we're going to put in a little square shape, which is going to be the body. And taper it out for a funnel, which is where, if we were going to do a whole body shot, that would be where the dress is going to come out. I'm going to curve that out because that's where the hair is going to go in a minute. And she's got quite fluffy fringe and she's got a bit sticking out the back. So we're going to just put a little triangle there. So at the moment it looks more like Pinocchio, but that's okay. We're going to put in a couple of arms. Now the easiest way to do arms is think where the shoulder is, put a circle, Then draw down and up and another circle, and that's where your hand's going to be. Draw down the hand on the outside. You won't see the shoulder. But if you do it in lines, then you can always make it fatter by drawing it either side. And I explain this quite well, don't I? In that if you think of this line being your skeleton, when you draw it out, you just draw one line either side. And then that's how you create an arm. There's your shoulder, round it off and bring it down. It's a lot simpler than you think. Look, all of a sudden I've done my arm. It's a little bit wider there, so you bring it in where the wrist is, and Joy is going to be holding this beautiful pearl. So I'm just going to do a couple of fingers, and it's as simple as that, doing that hand. The other side, I'm literally just going to do it as if it's an open palm. Forearm, down and in. And there's her little coat. Now she's holding this beautiful pearl, so I'm going to draw a big circle there, which will colour it in a minute, but we'll just draw it like that. Now let's finish her off. So her eye needs to be a bit bigger on this one. And she has, and it goes down. So this eye needs to be bigger than that one, so I'm just enlarging it slightly. Her nose is not a circle, so I'm going to rub out the circle, and I'm just going to do a curve. Like that. And her mouth, we want teeth, so we're going to put that in like this. Give her a little chin. And now put in this fabulous blue hair. And this blue hair is it's like drawing petals in itself. So we just curve it and create this. She's got this crazy mop of hair. I don't think you need to be too exactly kind of what the hair's like. But I'm just putting in these crazy bits, and then she's got this tuft at the back, which I'm going to put in there. And some more little pieces there. So that's her hair shape. She's wearing this lovely bright yellow dress, which is the colour of joy. Or the colour they use, I should say, to denote joy. So yeah, I often get asked by people, and they say to me, how are you so optimistic? And, you know, how come you don't think, my voice is gone. How come you don't let things get you down? Well, I'm just not sure. You see, I am a bit like all or nothing kind of person. Do I let things get me down? Yeah, I definitely do. But I pick myself up pretty quickly because I'm just not sure. And maybe it's because I'm scared of what would happen if I let myself procrastinate too long, if I let myself really fall in that moment of despair. And so I don't. My Nanny Edwards, once said to me, never go to bed on an argument, darling. That's the best thing your marriage can ever have. Because one day you might wake up and they might not be waking up next to you. And that will happen. One day, darling, they might not come home from work. One day, darling, you'll be left alone, or they'll be left alone. And the last thing you want is a memory of sadness and anger to fill the memory of joy that you have experienced together. I don't know why. We were talking about my granddad. My granddad died 2 months after I was born, sadly. And so obviously I never knew him. He was a very special man, I understand, and a very loving and creative man. My mum often says that's where I got all my artistic flair from, my granddad. But he sadly passed away. I think he had an asthma attack, and it was all very sudden and all very sad because he actually didn't get to say goodbye. And I think that teaching that my nan gave me was very profound, actually. You know, she was just basically saying, you know, she didn't get to say goodbye in the way she wanted. And so don't make that mistake yourself, you know, live for that moment, which I have always done. Okay, so I'm just going to colour her in. I'm using this ghastly pink because obviously I don't have the tone that they've got. But if you only have pink and you don't have what I would call as the Caucasian skin tone that we all refer to, and you know what, if you don't want to make her pink and you want to make her whatever skin tone you are, then please do. But if you don't want her to be so ghastly pink as this, then you get a yellow and you put yellow on top. And it sort of takes it to an orange colour, more of a skin tony colour. It's not an exact science, and if you're using pencils, you can't get the entire colour. I mean, if you are using paint, you can get that colour, but it's a bit more tricky when you're using pencils. So I'm joyous because it's Friday. Guys, I've got a busy weekend ahead. I'm up at 3:30 tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Which, because I am doing a sip and paint for the Northern Hemisphere for my English friends that have been doing some beautiful paintings alongside me whilst we've been in lockdown. So I'm doing another one to suit their time frame. So that makes it 7 o'clock on Friday night for them, so they can have a wine and have a bit of a social instead of they've been getting up on Saturday mornings and doing it with me. So they're going to have an evening one, which means an early start for me, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Then normal time, Saturday night, I'm doing a paint and picnic at 5 o'clock for children. And then just colouring the bottom of her skirt. 7 p.m. is for the family. Not pressing too hard here because I want it to look like a transparent kind of magical golden ball shiny thing that she has found. The Holy Grail. In fact, to make it look shiny, I might just do a couple of things like that. And there she is. There's joy and sadness for you today. I wonder why they coloured her hair blue, given that they used that for sadness. But maybe it's because the colours are the emotion is so closely related that you do go from sadness to joy in a flash. That might be the reason. So that's it. I'm going to flip you back and say goodbye. There we go. Oh, there we go. So you can see how annoying these are. Look, they catch on me. But that's okay. All right. So like I say, 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I will be doing a paint and picnic and we're doing a coloured giraffe. We're doing giraffes this weekend. Thank you, Nikki Cooper in the UK, for asking to paint that. That is what we are doing. We're doing a beautiful rainbow giraffe at 7 p.m. But if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, you are very welcome to join the Cornwall WI ladies at 7 p.m. on Friday night, which if you're in the Southern Hemisphere in Australian Eastern Standard Time, it's 4 a.m. So you are welcome to get up and join me. I will be drinking plenty of coffee, that's for sure. But I'm excited. It's important sometimes for us to do something a little bit different and to share the love. You know, at the end of the day, I'll just come back and have a bit of a snooze, so it'll be fine. And I'm drawing a Cornish Seaside Harbour. So one of those beautiful things, if you've ever watched the TV programme Doc Martin, then you'll have seen the beautiful harbours of Cornwall, which is where I'm from, and that's what we'll be painting, and you would be welcome to join the WI, I am sure. If you don't want to get up that early, I totally understand, and if you have plans, that will be on the replay, so you'll be able to paint it anytime you want. Guys, as always, been a lovely week sharing my time with you. I really hope that if you think these are helpful, please let me know. I think they could be really special for you to do with your team while you're working. Maybe you could start off a group meeting by getting people to draw their emotions. If you look at last week, I did a whole load of post-it drawings. And if you don't want to hear my voice and my stories for your team while you're at the office, then just put them on mute. Put me on mute, and you can convey your own story. Use my ideas as a stepping stone for you to create your own conversation that you need to have with your team. That's what these lunchtime sessions are all about, really. It's just about giving you support during the week. And then if you get the bug and you want to do a bit more, you can find me at the weekends. I've had a lovely time. If you're looking for me, you'll find me at You Create Art at Home. Please send me a message. As always, send me your artwork. I love seeing what you're doing. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.